There you have my presentation. Yes, and we will take a look into Eventor with the event start lists and results mainly. What we use Eventor for, we have the information about the races collected in the bulletins. We want to have uploaded there, so we have an archive also for it. And we have the entry system, and actually new since some days back is that we have a payment solution available. And then start list and results. And in the end, we have the world ranking calculation and World Cup also for races like that. To use the Eventor as a system, and especially for athletes, they need to have an ID, and that is, you can say, the login for Eventor. So you have a personal ID, and then some information about you as a person, and also a collection of your results that are made at the moment from 2014, but we aim to upload old results also, not from world ranking events, but from championships and World Cups. So I think I'm gonna change to share my screen instead. If I find the right window. Yep. Here I have my profile, and as you heard, there will be a change in the handling of nationality. When you create the account, you can, of course, select for free what nationality you have, but we will disable the possibility to change it, so it will be handled by the office. And it's possible to upload photos, for example, for accreditation in the major events. And you can also see I haven't been running anything on the international level, so I don't have any results, but it's possible to see your own historical results. And for runners that taking part in major events, we also have the athlete license handling here. As an information, the process will be changed from the 1st of January. As it has been now, you need to send in the signed paper to the IOF office by traditional mail, but now we will change, so everything will be handled here in Eventor, just signing electronically. So it will be easier. Yes, and I will continue sharing my screen and looking in my presentation. When you are as an athlete, you can have an account. You are logged in with the club user rights, but there are 3 levels of organizations. You have the club level, and then you have the federation, the country that you compete for in the major events. And then we also have a top level that is IOF level. You that are registered as event advisor, you have the IOF level also on your accounts. So you're able to change the account or the organization level when you have logged in. And it's possible to be member in more than one club also. So I will change to federation level now. And here you have also some roles with different access to Eventor. You have as a runner, you can register to races, but you also have this event organizer level that you need to have as an organizer to be able to access and edit the events. And I will cover that in a short while, how to do that. And also one important feature as an administrator for the organization, for a club or for the federation, that is, you can create new accounts for persons and add them to the organization. If they don't know how to create an account, you can do that for them, just giving first name, last name, sex, and birth date. That is the 4 things you need to add. Then there are some optional. You can add mail address, you can add sport ident number or EMIT card number. That's a standard. And then you can, when they have their login, then they can add addresses and phone number and photos and so on, if they like. But before we look into how the organizer handles the events, you need to apply for an event. And that is not so tricky. It's the same as the athlete license that previously we had that you needed to send it in on paper, but now you can do everything here in Eventor. I'm logged in with my National Federation user rights, and I have the administration menu. And down to the left, I have apply for world ranking event. And first you select what discipline you want to apply for, but we take FootO. And here you have some not so difficult. You give the name and date and time zone and some information about the race, distance, long distance, middle distance, sprint, etc. What kind of start method you have. And the important thing to add, if you have, that is rule deviations. If you say yes, then you have a free text field where you can describe what rule deviation you want to have, so that FootO Commission can read about it and take a decision. And if they have any questions, they will get back to you as an organizer so you can clarify it. And the most common rule deviation, that is the start order and selection if you have a big race with Elite 1 and Elite 2. How to make that if you don't want to use the standard the selection with only world ranking as a selection tool. If you have combined with the national championship, for example, then perhaps you need to make a mix of the selection for the Elite 1 or and Elite 2. And then some contact details for persons involved in the race. And as you probably remember, this should be done at the last of September. And this year we are actually quite online with the process. So I think most of the races has been applied or approved. Some late application is not handled yet. Yes, when we have an event that is ready, so I will look at this event here. It's race in 2 weeks that we can check how it looks like. We have the general information that is okay. I need to change my rights. This is basically the application again, where you have the name and the date and things like that. You can add some contact details, and if you have some social media, you can add those links also. And the important thing is punching system. If you don't have that entered, you will not be able to collect registrations and so on. And if you're using the new payment method, you must also add the currency. We have second tab is the organizers and the officials for the event. People that you want to add in this section, they need to be have an account in Eventor. When you select, you you do a search in the database. So it's not possible to add the free text. They need to be in the database. And also the event advisor, your name is added down here. That is actually nothing that the organizer themselves can add. That is only we as IOF office that can add that. So sometimes there's a change of the event advisor, then they need to contact the office to do the change. We have possibility to add arena, position, and competition area. The competition center is actually mandatory to be able to open for registration. So just put the flag symbol where your event center will be, or if it's not a major event where you don't have an event center, then it's the arena position. And you can also put a competition area. Quite simple. I will take cancel on this one so I don't mess with their settings. Take a quick look at event types. That is nothing that you should change, but this is the event types that are available in the system. But classes is interesting because that is where you get all the entries. Normally you have a man and woman if it's a world ranking event, but sometimes there's more than one class, especially when it's junior championship and perhaps at the same time as the seniors for ski. Then we have the settings of base classes where you just can select if I want to add the men 20 and women 20 and also 18. Then I get default settings for those classes. So it's quite easy. to set up. And again, I take cancel. And then we have the entry fees and deadlines. See what they have here. They have actually, yep, they have a simple version. If you just have a deadline and a late entry deadline with the 2 dates and times, and then one fee, and then a percentage for the late entry fee, then you can use this one. But if you have a more complicated system, if you have more than 2 deadlines, or if you have divided into different fees for different classes, or if you have a major event where you have team officials that should have no fee at all, or etc., then you use the advanced mode, because here you can create setup. This is created from the basic settings. I won't go into details in this, but it's quite flexible system. You can select classes and different dates, and also for ages, and create as many levels as you want. For I would say that World Master is probably the most complex system for entries. And we also have a possibility to add some services. For example, if you want to have a transport service, you can add so the athletes can order transport service, or if you want to sell some food or t-shirt or something like that, just add a description and then the price, and you can give a date interval, and you can add different date intervals with the different prices. We have the section for bulletins and other documents. The bulletin we want to have uploaded as a PDF file, because we want to have it as an archive, all bulletins from all races. But if you have other things on other places, on your own web page or Google Drive or something, you can add links to that instead of the real document. And we can have a look also at the new payment section, but I will demonstrate it on the test server, because it need to be set up on the organization level first, to give your bank details and information about your organization, depending on what country you are in. That could be a bit different, and I won't show that, but we have an instruction manual how to do it, and I have set it up for a test. So here I have the payment section. I think test server is a bit slow, because it's just for test. Okay, I was logged out. Then we try again. I jump back for, okay, I see that now. Payment section. We have some information formal information about the club or federation, address, and so on. You can have some standard text on the invoice and on the receipt also. We have some sections where you can select some colors. And then we have the payment methods that are available. We have PayPal, and we have international bank transfer, and we have Stripe. And Stripe is the newest one, where you can set up for credit card or bank card payment. And then it's combined when you open the entry and athletes are doing the registration, they have to pay at the same time. If you have selected PayPal or Stripe, and the registration are not done before the payment are done also. If you select international bank transfer, then there's a invoice generated that you need to handle manually. And that is a little bit more administration. So we think that Stripe and PayPal is the two systems that are most interesting. And you can also see that we have PayX, and that is an old system that is not used so much anymore. Then I need to check in my presentation what to say next and what to do and say. Yes, that is the basic information for the event. So now the athletes are ready to do the registration, hopefully. And we have this Austria Cup where they have 7 registrations already. So we can have a look how it's for doing an entry. And my name comes up, and also all my organizations, so I can choose my club instead of IOF, and also the classes that is possible for me to enter. At the moment, just men, and also my registered sport ident number. And if there had been any services, I could have ordered them here also. I will cancel this one so I don't have to go to Austria for some ski orienteering. And as an organizer now, you want to see who are registered for this race. So you have an entry overview, and this is a nice page, I think, because here you have some statistics, how many entries, and sorted on the different deadlines, and by class also. And you can click on the class name to see a start list. And you're also able to edit the entries as an organizer. You can always access the entries even if a deadline is passed. To change class or spot ident number, it's not so much to change in this kind of entry. I will not show it now, but connected to the payment, we also have an edit section where you can see what orders are made, and if someone is canceling, you can make a refund paper and pay back the money if that's the case, or if you keep the money, you can just disable the entry from there. Back to the entry overview, we also have possibility to see entries by club. or get some statistics for the federation or region level. And if once again, if I had any services, the services would be listed here also. So this is a good overview, but perhaps you need something more. Then you can do an Excel export where you get more details. You can get the exact time of entries and who made the entry, because you can make entries on behalf of someone else. I can show that perhaps. We have this organization entry. I will change to my club instead. That's better for this. Because then I see all my club friends in a long list, and I can add as many as I like. So I can be a tour operator for my club. Changing class or sport ident number. So you can do quite a lot with the entries, but in the end you also need to download them to your local system. So I will switch again. Now we're back on this admin page as the organizer. And we have a data exchange page. This is where you can download first the whole database as an XML file. You can download organizations or persons or classes. You can also then, perhaps more interesting, download the entries for your race. If your system is able to handle classes in XML file, you can download them. Otherwise, you just download the classes, and you have the possibility to select from and to date. If you want to download it in many times or different times, normal entry time period and late entries. After you have downloaded the files to your local system and produced the start list, it is a good thing to upload the start list to Eventor. It's not mandatory, but it's a good thing to do. Then you have the upload start list section here. You select the file and then you upload it. And this file must be in this special IOF XML format. Can be complicated to understand, so I will not go into too much detail. I will show later on just some small things with the XML file, both the start lists and the results. And after the race is done, you must upload the results, and it's the same thing that it should be uploaded as an XML file. But you also have the possibility to use an Excel template. If you have a system that can't produce this XML file, you often can make an Excel file, and I haven't downloaded it. I can show it for you in just some small seconds. To take another window then. Excel. There we have Excel, and this is the template. So you have some columns in the top. Scroll to the left, the class name, length and place, and IOF ID. IOF ID must always be present because that is the identifier for the word ranking, and without the identifier we can't calculate the ranking. So if the runners doesn't have an IOF ID, they need to have it, or if you create it for them. If you have, as I said, the first name, last name, birth date, and gender, 6. First name and last name should be here also. And the federation ID and nationality, you don't put the club in here. You put the federation. And then the time. You have, for the federation ID, you can go to the other countries tab, and there you have all the numbers for the countries. So when you have added the result in this Excel template, you just copy from Excel, and if I just put some places here. This and do a copy from Excel, and then I need to switch back to Eventor, so you see that also. Now we are back in Eventor, and in this big window, yeah, now it was not so much interesting data. I put some more. New try with some new data like this. And so it's not so complicated when you have the Excel file to just copy the data and upload it. I will not do it, of course. But I had some thoughts about this. Yes. As I said, most big softwares can be able to create this XML file, and actually I made a check today how many systems that have been used to organize orienteering events and uploading results to Eventor, and it was about 25 different systems that has been uploaded as an XML file, so we can verify what system has been used, and then 1/3 of all races has been using this Excel method for uploading results, and then we don't know what kind of system they are using. And I have some more minutes before my time is out, so I will show you a small example of this XML file handling. So we are once again changing window. This is now a start list. can look very confusing. Yeah, that's a first good thing is for editing this kind of files. It's a text file, basically, but there are some programs that are better than others in editing these files, and I'm using a software named Notepad++. So you see that there are some colors and also some plus and minus symbols, and these plus and minus symbols are really good because this is a race O festival from Norway with a lot of classes, but we are only interested in men and women. So I go a little bit down to find the first class start, and then I see it's this N open, and that is nothing I want. So I click on the minus sign to compress this class. And then there's one more open class, and well, here's DE, Ladies Elite class. Then I want to delete the two first classes. I just mark it like this and take it away. I thought I did. Do it again. Must have pushed the wrong button. Like that. And no, why is it not? I thought I was going to show you something really easy. Yeah, now it's removed. So now we have the ladies elite class, and then we have the men elite also, and I want to keep that, but I compress it. And then I know that I don't need any more classes, so I just scroll down to the bottom and mark everything from there to the bottom and delete it. Then I just have these two classes and I can expand them again. And then it's possible to upload the start list with only those two classes. And one more thing in the result list, it's built in the same way. So I can remove extra classes, but also in some cases you have races or events that is multiple day races, and you have all results in one file. This is error that comes now and then. You have this race number 1 and race number 2 and race number 3, etc. I think this is a 5 days competition. And Eventor always expect it to be race number 1 because Eventor can't or actually it can handle multi-day events, but we have disabled that function. So it always expects to be race number 1. Or so if you have the race number in the file, you should change it to 1 or remove it totally. Then it doesn't matter. This file, I think, includes split times, but at the moment we don't support split times, but it will be hopefully implemented in next year. So we can have a connection to win splits. If you upload the results to Eventor, then it's automatically uploaded to win splits also. That is the idea. See if I have something more to say. If I'm Yes, I have some links that I will show you. I said I was on the test server. You have the link to that and some links for help and support also. And for the support, I'm the person handling that. So don't be afraid to send me a mail. I will answer quite quickly. And yeah, I see that Daniel has provided you with the link for download++. I think I had that in my presentation also. Yes, so it will be in the presentation handed out. And this was the list for the bigger softwares used. And at the end I said 17 more because it was so many, not used so many times, but at least sometimes. So now it's question time, if we have any.
Okay, thank you, Henrik. And again, as you mentioned, Daniel Leibengut already, if you open your chat function in your Teams, then you see the straight link to the Notepad++ download page. Any questions to Henrik? Kelson in Chen, go ahead, please.
Just a short one. What happens if you try to upload with classes that are not in IOF Eventor for start list or result lists?
You will get an error message saying that this class list doesn't exist.
Okay.
One thing I can mention there is that you have an ID number on the classes and the name, and the ID number is the first thing that it check. So if you have mixed, for example, 1 and 2 with men and women, then it could be mixed in. It accept the upload, but it will be mixed in the name of the class.
Okay, thanks. We have another question. I'm sorry if I pronounce it incorrectly, but kind of Eugen.
Okay, I'm from Austria. I have a question. I have to put up the results, but the Austrian clubs are not. So I have it to do. I cannot upload the XML file. I have to make it with Excel. Is there a possibility to get which clubs of the Austrian Federation and the numbers of them? They are in Eventor.
Yes, I can show you how it's done. It is on the data page. Data exchange. Here you have the organization register. Then you get all the clubs with the correct number. Yeah, and we got the question if there is any cost associated with the payment system. Yes, we don't take any thing for this, but the different payment system are having different fees. And one reason why we have gone away from PayPal is because they have gone quite expensive. So this Stripe system is the cheapest we have found. And for the bank transfer, it depends on what country you are sending money from and to. So it's not possible to say what the fee is in advance.
Okay, are there any other questions? If not, I thank you again, Henrik. then back to you, Aaron.
Yes, thank you, Henrik. I think